spirit. Let us engage in invectives, vigor, languages, profanity, and outright abuse against prominent Liberians, especially women, and now the mother of the sitting Chief Justice. His action run contrary to the spirit, letters, and intent of the Constitution. Hence, his actions constitute contempt of the Honorable Supreme Court and punishable as such. Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, the contender is hereby judged guilty of criminal contempt, and the court hereby imposes a definite and certain imprisonment term of 6 months or 180 calendar days at the Monrovia Central Prison, and prior to his release, he is hereby ordered to publish a letter of apology to the Supreme Court and to all Liberians, especially Liberian women, in 3 widely circulated newspapers for 5 consecutive days. And in addition, is further ordered as a precondition to his release to execute and file a behavior bond with the clerk of the Supreme Court, clearly indicating that he will never use invectives and vigorous languages with profanity or outright abuse of any Liberian. And this order takes immediate effect, and it is hereby so ordered. Giving on our hands in the seal of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, this 13th day of February 2026. Signed, Yami Kofi Senior, Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. James Edward Howard Wolokoli, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. Joseph D. Kaba, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. CNN D. Clinton Johnson, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. Waka N. Cannon, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia.
In obedience to the mandate, you will immediately issue commitment placed in the hands of the sheriff. You have to say escorted to the central prison. Mr. Marshal, you will take possession of the Louisiana. You will renew your hand with commitment prepared. In the attempt of resisting, you can not be outside.
Engaging in invectives, vigor, languages, profanity, and outright abuse against prominent Liberians, especially women, and now the mother of the sitting Chief Justice. His action run contrary to the spirit, letters, and intent of the Constitution. Hence, his actions constitute contempt of the Honorable Supreme Court and punishable as such. Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, the contender is hereby judged guilty of criminal contempt, and the court hereby imposes a definite and certain imprisonment term of 6 months or 180 calendar days at the Monrovia Central Prison, and prior to his release, he is hereby ordered to publish a letter of apology to the Supreme Court and to all Liberians, especially Liberian women, in 3 widely circulated newspapers for 5 consecutive days. And in addition, is further ordered as a precondition to his release to execute and file a behavior bond with the clerk of the Supreme Court, clearly indicating that he will never use invectives and vigorous languages with profanity or outright abuse of any Liberian. And this order takes immediate effect, and it is hereby so ordered. Giving on our hands in the seal of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, this 13th day of February 2026. Signed, Yami Kofi Senior, Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. James Edward Howard Wolokoli, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. Joseph D. Kaba, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. CNN D. Clinton Johnson, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. Waka N. Cannon, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia.
in obedience to the mandate, you will immediately issue commitment placed in the hands of the sheriff. You have the Sajidien escorted to the central prison. Mr. Marshal, you will take possession of the Sajidien. You will renew your hand with commitment prepared. In the attempt of resisting, God is not being outside to the community. Mr. Marshal, proceed to get it out. Why do it come?
Real law that is there to actually protect these people. What we all need to understand is these things can happen to anybody. You may be all right today, tomorrow, something may happen to you, and you may become a person too with disability. So because you have disability does not mean that you are less of a human than the other person. And so it is based upon that we are taught that it would be good for us to make sure that there are laws that's going to be guiding and protecting these people. For example, people with disability, some of them are out of high school, some of them are out of university, but getting employment is very, very difficult. Some of them are unskilled workers, but they can still do something. And so that's why every government institution in this country, every government institution should at least employ 2 persons with disability. This is going to help them. Families, and some of them got families. Some of them are even married. They got children. But because they are just there, people just see them as less of a human. There is no care, no one to take care of them, and things like that. So they are all over the place on the street begging. It's going to make them also independent. Job or something to do, it will make them independent. I think the government should also even train them. When you empower them through training, some of them can do business. Some of these people, they are intelligent. I remember there was one guy on Ken Johnson Road so many years ago. He was disabled. His 2 legs, had problem. And he went to the university. He graduated from the University of Liberia. But where is he now? He doesn't have any job anywhere. With all of the university degree, he doesn't have anything doing. I don't even know where he is right now. And if someone like that can, with their condition, go to school, the only good thing you can do for them is to make sure you create the opportunity for them to get a job. Most of them feel that they are stigmatized because of their condition. If we can include them in all of the various activities that we are doing, they will also feel that they are part of the society. We need to be deliberate about this. We need to ensure that we get them to be involved.
Oh, yes, we gotta bring this Musa Benedict. Where I tell him, oh, hustling in Sacred Pied, oh, that's only boy. Yeah. Representative Benedict, good morning. But it seems you're down with the song. There's something, I always say to people, any song that is playing, you see somebody doing something particular.
They hustle hard. You don't even know how it's going to happen. At the point of giving up, this song is playing. You just keep pushing. Keep pushing. You know, that's life.
Yes, Representative Bility, it's always good to have you, man. Thank you so much. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but I wanted to say, you know, as a political leader of an institution, you always avail yourself for these kinds of conversations. Some people will choose, you know, to go through so extra bureaucracy, all those kinds of things. But why are you always availing yourself the way you are? Will you continue this?
Yes, it's not going to stop. Clarence, if you have a message for the people, you will be the best messenger yourself. And those of you who are between us politicians and the people, we have to avail ourselves. When there's a story about you, how you feel, it's good for the public to know your side. It's good for the public. You know, there are people, you know, and honestly, I've seen a surge in interest, not just of ordinary people, but stakeholders coming to the CMC, calling other people to say, I want to meet Mr. Pede. My strategy is I can meet one person. I can meet 50 people. I can meet 100 people. There's no limit. I've been in campaign too long to know that one person can be a messenger to so many other people, depending on it depends on how you treat the person. So, you know, having the opportunity to speak to Liberian people, I consider that to be a privilege. And once that privilege is given me, unless, you know, honestly, I can make it, and I will let you make it.
I know.
But nothing will stop me from coming to just make a point. You know, you never get tired.
Welcome back to town.
Thank you.
For how long were you in the Southeast? What did you go to do there?
Well, we were in the Southeast for the weekend. Actually, we actually stopped in Granji there because on our way to River G, we stopped to Kilipo Kawakan. And then while we were in the program, after I was in speech, and then we got news that one of our people made accident. And the initial information we got was that we lost 2 persons in it. So that panicked us. And then I said, no, we can't continue. Thankfully, we went back. They had taken the people to Tapeta Hospital. We went back. The car was damaged, but you know, thankfully no one died. And as of Monday, and that Monday, as of Thursday, everyone had left the hospital now. Yeah.
Okay. How was the trip?
It was good. Really, really good. We broke some records. You know, after almost 30 years of civil war, the first time for a Nimba County politician to go to Granji there and receive such a reception. Not just in the number of people, which is also something, but in the reaction of the people. I'll tell you, and this is a record. We received a combination of goat and sheep, 15.
15?
Yes. From villages in Granji there. 15 goat and cow and sheep, and one never happened before, at least since the war ended, and I'm very happy.
Why was it so?
Resonance, Chief. We went to a town in Granji there, in District 3. The people couldn't even, we couldn't reach the town. It's about 15 to 20 kilometer walk. So the people, sometimes they walk for 8 to 10 hours. Over 1,500 people live in that community. Since 1847, there is no road there. No vehicle. They have never seen vehicle before. So we went there and made a commitment that we would.
You walk there.
No, I couldn't.
They came to a nearby.
Yes. Look, when I saw the faces of these people, it was quite a
Is
scene.
that in
District 3.
how do you call it about DB's district?
Yes, almost DB. You know, a very strong, hardworking lawmaker. I was very proud of him. And we committed to the people that this is the end of your suffering as far as these roads are concerned. They couldn't believe it. Those people have never had, they have never seen a vehicle before. A child is born there, becomes a man, and die, and never sees a vehicle. And I can tell you now that by April, that road construction will start.
You would carry road there?
Yeah. That decision is made. We have a piece of road to do in Nimba, District 4. That takes about a month once it finishes.
From where to where? Which part of Nimba?
District 4 from Bor, it's in the Bor region,
Okay.
around Tiaple there, Tiapa, all the way to go to Benegle, and then coming back to Waiple. So we're actually going to start on the Ban Campli Road maybe tomorrow or next week, and then we'll connect.
So you committed to the people that moving forward from April upward, the kids over there, maybe in 2-3 months time,
No, the
people
road
will enter.
it's going to take at least 6 weeks to complete that road, or maybe 2 months. But what I can tell you,
2 months to construct a road over there that and it has never been so.
yeah, at least for vehicle to move in. We have faces.
And you're
of-
calling Jacob DB a strong man. You're proud of him. He's
Very,
been a
very-
lawmaker 2 years now. He hasn't even been able to open that place.
Are you kidding me right now? That man has been a lawmaker for only 2 years. I'm telling you, since the independence of Liberia, then he comes in 2 years, and now he's going to sort.
What did the
out-
people say to you, Benedict?
First of all, one of the greatest things that I saw there was that the calmness between our two people. You know, the people of Nimba, the people.
Grand
of
Jury. You are Dodies, man.
Yeah, you know, and we saw history. You know, interestingly, they're much closer than they should be. In my district, there's a clan. It's called Bao. You will not believe it. The same name in Nigeria of the town, a clan also. So the similarity is too much. So we took advantage of that. We went across most part of the place, and then we got into the city of Zebru.
Zwedru.
You saw that. Unbelievable. Welcome, you know. And it's a metropolitan area, different people, all the communities, the Fula community, the Muslim, the Mandingo community, the Nimba community. So we made a decision that we're going to bunker in Grand Juda. CMC is going to bunker in Grand Juda.
What does that mean?
We're going to make it our garrison. We're going to base our southeastern operation in Grand Juda.
In Grand Juda.
Yes.
Build an office there.
Not only that, but we're going to make most of the roads there. We're going to.
Is that what you're committed to?
Yes, well, I did that already. You know, we expect our yellow machine anytime, and once they come, a complete set will be.
How many pieces? I want to be clear on the number because you remember the last time the
You know,
government talked about 285.
my brother, I
We
know
talked about that
government.
thing almost 1 year. Yeah.
I know government.
How many coming?
We have announced ever since 26 pieces.
26
Yes,
pieces.
that's our plan. That's the machine that we're going to bring for now, and that will be with us throughout until 2020.
Why has the CNC taken interest in road construction? Is it because
Really?
President Boakai has spoken about roles. You want to eat show.
Since you became a journalist, this is the most unfair statement that you have made.
I'm asking why. Because there are competing priorities everywhere. Why have you taken roles as it is not about me, Billy? Just answer. Forget
Honorable Clarence Jackson. Musa Hassan Bility, the Bility Development Foundation, the Citizen Movement for Change, are the pioneer for development politics in Liberia. Nobody, the government, even though they don't say it publicly, but they say it privately to you, and to many people that we are being pushed by the CMC, that we are being pushed by the CMC, and we're pushing them. And we're not going to stop because we're happy. Honestly,
but it's a strategy to make the government to deliver deliberately, even if they didn't want to do so. Or is your attempt just to push the government?
I saw it. I saw the weakness. I became a representative in one of the toughest political terrain in Nimba County, under the toughest political circumstances. I became representative only because I engaged in development. So I know what it brings. So having gotten that result, now that I'm seeking the presidency, you expect me to change my strategy? No. I take the same strategy that had me elected in the most difficult, broke ceilings. Few years ago, a Muslim man, a Mantigo man, would not necessarily dare to move into the president. We've broken that ceiling. Nobody can question now that due to my tribe, I've won the election in the most difficult area because of development. And honestly speaking to you, I'm happy that the Liberian people are benefiting now. That the government knows that if they don't get into development, I was so happy yesterday when I listened to the vice president from Nukuta, and the vice president said, if we don't fix your rules, don't vote for us.
Yeah, I heard.
You understand?
He was talking about a familiar song in Nima.
Yes.
That the people will sing to in politics.
Exactly.
When you can't hear, you fool or will fool
you. Call it basically. So I was happy. My brother, that is the flagship of the CMC. I don't care how they put it.
You're attributing it to you?
Yes. Look, by the way, when the government began to check for yellow machines, the vice president, I was one of the people he consulted. I was one of the people that
Because you are all into business.
Yes, give him idea on what is it, and would be more than happy to help. It's a huge operation.
Where is the Banga George Bridge? How is the project? Somebody will say, Bility is just announcing bridge projects. He hasn't been able to delegate any except for his district. He just announced everywhere he's going, just announcing ambitious bridge projects all over the place. When is he going to complete one?
Well, we have set a goal for 3 major bridges this year, and wait and see. The George Bridge is going to finish. The people of Banga will pass on that bridge during Christmas.
This Christmas?
Guaranteed. We have a huge program coming up in Lofa County. We're building the largest bridge that we'll ever build in Kwaduboni, connecting Tuso with Bakedu. We're having a ceremony to announce that, and we're commencing the Tiawanse Gonglo Bridge.
Where?
Connecting Nima and Bon County.
Okay.
Between Parallel there. And then we have
somewhere beyond Zointa.
Correct.
Gonglo's border comes from Zowestono.
No, Gonglo border comes from Kwaipa.
Kwaipa, you are correct.
Yes.
That's Zowestono, Kwaipa. And Kwaipa is one of the towns in Bon County.
We actually this morning we commenced.
And so we want to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your location, where you are watching us from this time. And a pleasant welcome to BKS TV and welcome to the HITA program here on BKS TV. On the HITA, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullet. It's great to have you on here this evening. Today is Friday. Thank God today is Friday. TGTF. Thank God today is Friday. Welcome to BKS TV and welcome to the famous Hidawa show here on BKS TV. Guess what? Let me try to put in my equipment here tonight. Prophet Key. This is the breaking news in the country today. Prophet Key was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Justin Opa Yezia, alias Prophet Key, was sent to 6 months in prison for criminal contempt. Now, a lot of things surrounding this issue. I'm concerned as to how the judgment was run. I'm concerned about so many things in Liberia. I'm concerned particularly about this case. And I know all of you in Liberia are way concerned. Well, I spoke to somebody today. The person said, what shocked me the most was Prophet Key's statement. He alleged that the Chief Justice is into corruption. He's accepting bribery from people. But reading the statement today, reading the guilty verdict today, nothing like the bribery was ever mentioned. The only thing to focus on was Prophet Key insulted the Chief Justice's mother and for his inventive speech against Liberian people, especially female. So they sentenced him to 6 months in prison, and they also told him that upon his release, he will write a commitment to submit it before the Supreme Court of Liberia, and also he will write an apology to the Liberian people in the Supreme Court to be published in all of the dailies in Liberia for 5 consecutive days. Now, is this a precedent case? Will the court be going after people who will be using invectives on other people? Will they invite them for contempt? They have the power, we agree. But are they going to be using the power moving forward? It's going to be a wonderful conversation here tonight. And if you're watching us, you also want to make your input or contribution to the show, you can call us on the numbers you will be seeing on the screen, or you can click the link in the comment section and you'll be opportune to join the conversation here tonight. Let's have a friendly conversation. Let's have our 1 or 2 cents on it. But let's be very careful how we mention the Supreme Court before we are called to justify or clarify why we shouldn't be held in contempt. So we got to be very careful of how we discuss the issue here tonight. Let me welcome to the show, big brother, DK Wade. DK, good evening and welcome. How you doing this evening? Mr. Sam Saras Valier, what's up?
How are you, boss man?
I'm doing pretty well. I think I'm trying now. It's much better. Maybe my voice is not yet clear, but I think it's okay for now. Welcome. How you doing, Chief?
Good. You talking to me? People are Sam.
I'm speaking to you. I will say with you. How is your
But I tell the thing over to the veteran. I feel telling you, okay. Like somebody told me yesterday, our lawmaker then you can sit down on a platform and be attacking them. They send you go all your way in Kigali. So that go now to come on your phone.
Yeah, good. Sam, welcome. How you doing, Chief?
Well, I'm good, Junior. I'm good. It's good to be here, Junior. DK, good to see you. Good to see
you have a lot to say about it, Prophet Kitty, but I put it one side. I hear you what's on your mind, Chief.
Well, what else will be in my mind at this point, Junior? It's all about our legal system being polluted. That's why all in my mind.
Okay, the Reverend is here. It's going to be a wonderful conversation tonight. We are joined by Reverend Marvin O. Pasua. He's joining us tonight. And a lot of people will join. I'm praying that...
I think Garrison will join.
Yeah, I'm praying that Councillor Garrison will join us on the show because some lawyers are giving their own opinion. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, he gave his opinion on the case, on the ruling. He supported the Supreme Court. And I've seen other people, one Councillor Clinton, he's in the States. He gave a dissenting opinion on that. And a lot of people are giving their own perspective on the issue. But it's going to be a long conversation.
But
Reverend, good evening. How you doing this evening, Chief?
Out here, I support that now. That one, forget it.
Hey,
Reverend, welcome.
hey, Jen.
Good evening.
It's a pleasure meeting you guys. It's been a long while.
Yeah,
it's
been a very, very long time. Welcome.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you so much. It's good to be here tonight. Thank you for keeping up the show. It's been a tough time for me, and since I came back, where I live, the network there is very bad. So more often, I find it difficult to join you guys when you are on. But thank God tonight that I can be here, and thank you too for keeping up.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I want to say thank you for also holding the ground in Liberia. You've been doing absolutely well with everything there. But before we go to this propagating, one of the journalists today tried by all means to record the ruling and the verdict that was given today. I want us to play it, then we can have our own opinion on it, void of politics. But let's have our honest opinion onto this ruling. Let's go to it.
Women, and now the mother of the sitting Chief Justice is after the years engaged in invectives, vigor, languages, profanity, and outright abuse against prominent Liberians, especially women, and now the mother of the sitting Chief Justice is action run contrary to the spirit, letters, and intent of the Constitution. Hence, his actions constitute contempt of the Honorable Supreme Court and punishable as such. Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, the contender is hereby judged guilty of criminal contempt, and the court hereby imposes a definite and certain imprisonment term of 6 months or 180 calendar days at the Monrovia Central Prison, and prior to his release, he is hereby ordered to publish a letter of apology to the Supreme Court and to all Liberians, especially Liberian women, in 3 widely circulated newspapers for 5 consecutive days. And in addition, is further ordered as a precondition to his release to execute and file a behavior bond with the clerk of the Supreme Court, clearly indicating that he will never use invectives, vigor languages, profanity, or outright abuse of any Liberian. And this order takes immediate effect, and it is hereby so ordered. Giving on our hands in the seal of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, this 13th day of February 2026. Signed, Yami Kofi Boyce Senior, Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. James Edward Howard Wodokodi, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. Joseph D. Kaba, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. CNN D. Clinton Johnson, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia. Wakat N. Cannon, Associate Justice, Supreme Court of Liberia.
So it seems that the prophet saw a fit when they were reading the ruling. He started to remove a chain, give it to his wife, tell her put it in the purse. I know I'll be going back for a long time. But here is it though. What got me shocked was that in Prophet Key's video that led him to this, he mentioned a lot of things. That's part of the insulting. He alleged that the Chief Justice is corrupt. He alleged that the Chief Justice is building a hotel in Ganta. He alleged that the Chief Justice have been receiving bribery into money cases. Now, when Prophet Key went to court, I'm not pretty sure that the justices representing him, the counselors representing him, I'm not sure they led Prophet Key to make his case. They told Prophet Key under the bus, and they told him, just accept that you are wrong, which he did. He pleaded guilty. Now, last time on the show, I said it, that pleading guilty to a crime that you didn't commit, you will not be set free. That's for one fact. So if Prophet Key were given the opportunity to present his case, I think he would have brought up evidences that
Joe, I'm not stopping you. The Supreme Court, somebody can present evidence in the Supreme Court? What are you talking about?
Yeah, There are no for this case. The case didn't go anywhere. They just called a man for
Yeah, so,
contempt.
but your argument is he should have explained himself. He's not a lawyer. When he got to the Supreme Court, he requested for a public defender. He said he doesn't have money to hire a lawyer. So they had assigned a public defender to him. So the public defender and Prophet Key met. In the Supreme Court, you don't present evidence. No.
When I said they didn't allow him to make his case, I'm saying now the lawyers representing him didn't make his case for him. I'm pretty sure that in that court, they told Prophet Key, one of the boss, they told him, Prophet Key, we will go to the justices, we will tell him that you accept the crime, you are guilty of it. But they didn't tell him the consequences of that. Prophet Key didn't know he was going to be charged for criminal contempt. And nobody knows which one of the contempt Prophet Key were going to be charged for. Now, I'm not saying that what he did was right. But I think there are other ways to this. There were grave allegations. That's part of the insult. There were grave allegations against the Chief Justice. No clarity when the ruling was being made, when the ruling was being read. There were no clarity to those things. Prophet Key didn't just insult. Prophet Key said the Chief Justice is corrupt. Quote, unquote, the Chief Justice has a hotel in Ganta, allegedly. When he said those things, but they didn't address that one. It's still pending, nothing there. I think Prophet Key lawyers should file for retrial of this case. With the way it went, he didn't expect it to be. And I believe that maybe he could call a different lawyer for a retrial. Even though it's contempt, it cannot be retrial. But with the way it stands, from the issue of the Chief Justice having his own hotel in Ganta, taking bribe from people for the land cases that are ongoing in Monrovia, those are all grave allegations, and they were not addressed. Reverend, let me hear you on this. Let's give you some of the time, and maybe you can give us some biblical explanation to this thing. Then we go to Sam and Deacon and the rest of the folks.
All right. Thank you so much, John. It's a good thing that you brought out tonight. But one thing that we should take into consideration, I think the key factor for which Prophet Key was charged was the fact that he goes about insulting people. Secondly, Prophet Key had a case against the Chief Justice. I think Prophet Key is educated enough; he would have defended his case. But I think everything else that Prophet Key said had no backing, and everything else that Prophet Key said was just an allegation that he couldn't prove in a court of law. But I think there where we are. And talking about religion, looking at it from the religious perspective, it is said in the Bible that we should respect our mother and our fathers. The father Prophet Key goes, if you listen to that tape, don't forget about the allegation against the Chief Justice about him being corrupt, this, that. Well, if that comes to the court of law, Prophet Key is able to defend himself. But look at the profanity that Prophet Key was putting on the Chief Justice mother. For heaven's sake, Dion. And this thing have been going on for time indefinite in this country. I think for me, what gets to me is that what are we teaching the next generation? We just came from war, and the fabric of our society is destroyed. If you are in Liberia, which of course I know you have been here for some time, and if you see how the young people behave, and those of us that are in the public glaring, if we can be the one doing what Prophet Key is doing, I think it's a starting thing for our country. So for Prophet Key going to jail today, I think that the Chief Justice and every other person in Liberia will not do anything extra than what happens. What happens today? Sorry, I'm in a place that seems to be noisy here, though. So
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
we are getting loud and clear. I have one question for you. Do you
Yeah.
think moving forward, if anyone take anybody to court for inventive or another person, do you think the court will rule in their favor?
I read a post from certain person today, but I can't ask on the quote. But I got something from him that whatever the Supreme Court does, it becomes law and order. It becomes a basic. So the fact that Prophet Key can go to jail today for profanity, I am sure that the next person that will happen to Prophet Key's case will serve as a reference, and that person will be dealt with. So I think that was a good example today set up by the Supreme Court. Henceforth, people will be very careful as to what they say against one another. I mean, you can disagree with somebody and be favored. You know, the manner in which Prophet Key was behaving in this country, if there hasn't been a check and balance, it would have been a norm of the society. Other people are here talking about Yeke Koluba and other people. One thing that the Chief Justice said was, well, Prophet Key have been insulting people, but nobody have brought Prophet Key to court. So the same goes along with Yeke Koluba. Yeke Koluba goes around insulting people also, but nobody has carried Yeke Koluba to court. So once Yeke Koluba has not been carried to the law has no bearing against Yeke Koluba. The law can't go after Yeke Koluba.
Thank you. Mr. Sam, let's hear you on the first round of this discussion, and then we'll go to TK and go for the second round. Let's hear you, Chief.
TV, let me say many thanks to BSK TV family, the Genesis for covering the show today. The case today. Let me also say to the people in the Nimba County, it's a sad day for Nimba County. It's a sad day for Liberia. When it comes to legal issue, a legal system, it's a sad day. Other country will be celebrating. It's all Nimba County. When you see Nimba men, dead body, that Nimba men killed that person. So let's say this, Junior. Like I said last night, I do not support the conduct of Prophet Key, but I also have a dissenting view of how this Chief Justice incarcerated Prophet Key. It's contrary to the Constitution, it's contrary to the judiciary law of the land, it's contrary to the criminal procedure law of the land. You saw him after the case, he was dancing. He was celebrating as a Chief Justice. But what I can tell him is that the seat that he's sitting in, and other people have sat there before. Charter was a giant in Nimba County in Liberia. Where is he today? If things are not done correctly. Somebody will say, you're supporting Prophet Key. No, I do not support Prophet Key conduct. But the way the law, the freedom of speech was violated, Prophet Key right was violated, and I can give you why, I can tell you this why it's violated. Number one, the Constitution of Liberia, the Section 5, Section 12.5 of the Judicial Law of Liberia provides content. The judges have content, right to contend. But what was that leads to content? Prophet Key was sent a letter to go to the court to explain why he shouldn't be who contend. In the first place, why sending a letter? Because first of all, the insult is not a criminal offense in the Republic of Liberia. You can cause anybody mom, anybody father in the Republic of Liberia. It's not a crime. Under the legal law, it's not a crime. It has been done over time in Liberia, starting from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time to CDC time, up to this point. But to send for a man to go and explain his side, then you give him a public defense lawyer, because, you know, like I was telling you the other day, the only right they had to hold Prophet Key to incarcerate Prophet Key was that they throw him under the board to say, I'm guilty. At that point now, Junior, the Supreme Court has a legal right to hold him contempt, because what? He's guilty. Once that guilty plea was rendered, Prophet Key had no other option to go to jail. And even as that, the law also say whatever type of content, which I don't know yet, it can be the one that carried 30 days is the criminal content that carried 30 days. But also the judges or the justices, the chief justice has the right. They got the discretion. So I believe they use their discretion for Prophet Key to go to jail for 6 months, because that room is provided for the judges to make a decision based on the judge discretion. That person, they can send that person to jail for more than that. That is up to them. But again, I am saying clearly here that the law of the land was not followed. The judicial law of the land was not followed. The criminal procedure law of the land was not followed. So people, Liberian people, one good thing I like about us is when things happen, they don't look at the other side. The only thing they're looking at is Prophet Key cursing. Well, if cursing was the crime, let's go back to the days of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Nobody say anything. Because why it's true that George Weah, his administration, he did some stuff, I would not like it, but I didn't like the way Prophet Key was cursing George Weah mom. But the people in Liberia didn't. The same Supreme Court didn't say anything. The Prophet Key insulted Joseph Boakai. The president didn't say anything. It went to Chief Justice now. Now it's become a law today that we can celebrate. I will not celebrate because the law, Prophet Key's rights as a human being was violated. No matter how bad he was, his rights under the law was violated.
At this time now, for me, I won't say his right was violated, because the final interpreter of the law, the final arbiter of the law in Liberia is the Supreme Court, and they are the justices in chamber, the associate justices and the Chief Justice. Now, I'm concerned, I'm confused as to how the law is being interpreted. For me, I believe that Prophet Key was not given a fair trial.
Due process.
I believe
fair trial.
He was not given a due process. He was not given a fair trial, because this thing, people thought it would have been, his lawyer made him to believe that it's just something that we're going to settle like a family matter. So you can say you are sorry, and then the Chief Justice and the justices will pardon you and warn you that you shouldn't do it the next time. I'm pretty sure this was the explanation given to him. So after accepting that, because you could see from Prophet Key, first day of appearance in the court, when he came outside and he spoke to journalists, he said, yes, when I followed the process today, it was good, and I trust the justice system. His second day, he said the justices advised me not to do so, and I accept. Therefore, moving forward, I will not insult anybody again. I will not insult women anymore.
Exactly.
So this was the kind of explanation that was given to him by his lawyers, by his counsel representing him. But coming forward now with criminal contempt, and with the criminal contempt, I don't see the proper explanation of the law. I don't see the proper violation of the law. If you follow Article 15D, I'm pretty sure Article 15D of the 1986 Constitution, it says the only way the freedom of speech or expression can be violated is through defamation of character or infringement on someone else's privacy. But you could listen to the reading today. The justices went from Article 15 of the 1986 Constitution to Article 14, Article 17.
Yeah.
I couldn't capture the actual violation here.
No.
Now you charge the man for criminal contempt. Criminal contempt. And this is one thing in Liberia that I have said it before, time without number, and I've been setting an example on rape cases. The power given to judges to decide the imprisonment period for someone without the law being definite about those things is something that we need to work on. So, taking you a bit from Prophet Key's story, I covered a rape case before, two separate rape cases. One of them has to do with gang rape, and the other has to do with statutory rape. For the gang rape, it was established that those three guys had an intercourse with this lady. For the statutory rape, it was also established that this guy had an intercourse with another lady. But for statutory rape, the person went to prison for 10 years. And for gang rape, they sent those guys to prison for 5 years. Tell me which one of these cases is more horrible than the other. And I would select the gang rape. So if you are sending someone in prison for gang rape for 5 years and someone who did a statutory rape for 10 years, I'm not saying that those things are correct, but I believe the imprisonment power given to the judges is too much. How can a contempt, something that didn't even warrant a contempt, and you charge a man for criminal contempt, you send the man in prison for 6 months? While, of course, people have done those things before they are going to jail for 30 days and come outside. And those contempt were something that was established. But this one, is confusing. And one thing that I trust and I know about Justice Obayezian is that he doesn't keep secret. So he will serve a prison time, he will come outside and he will tell the Liberian people what happened, how he got tricked. He will tell them. For me, I believe that he got tricked in the process. I definitely believe that he got tricked. They told him that accept this thing. We'll just tell the justices that we are sorry. And the next time it happens, they will take action against you. But for this time, they won't take any other severe action. They will just warn you and you will go free. But
Junior, the funny part was that I look at the video. I don't know if I could find this video and send it. I look at the video after the verdict. Chief Justice went home. He started dancing. Are you kidding me? As a Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, he was dancing. So what comes to mind was that, okay, I have done it as a Chief Justice, but I didn't follow the law. What is there to dance for? You are the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia and people rely on you. There are a lot of cases in Liberia. Why it's true that we will not agree with Prophet Key insulting your mother, what victory that you have achieved that you have to go and be dancing? It doesn't make sense. I mean, Liberian people, the problem with us is we don't like to read. So since we don't like to read, the only thing everybody's saying Prophet Key went to jail for cussing. Cussing is not it's crime in Liberia. Cussing is not a crime. So, and again,
and you see, the funny thing about this is that Prophet Key was taken to court by the former cultural ambassador, Judy Andy, for insulting her. And Judy Andy, I'm pretty sure that she read the law, and there was nothing within the law that violated the freedom of speech or the Abdullah A. Kamara Act or Article 15 of the 1986 Constitution.
But let me hold you 1 second. Sorry. So this is the thing, though, before you finish your thought. I have been following a conversation in Liberia. I have never seen a lawyer in Liberia that will criticize, not criticize, but get a dissenting order on the topic. Lawyers that are giving dissenting order are lawyers that live out of country. So you can see, you can clearly see that they are afraid to talk. That's how the country is. They are afraid to talk because what? They will not get what they're supposed to get at some point because they're Chief Justice. Go ahead.
For me, like I was saying, you see, when she took Prophet Key to court, she didn't take him to court for a, violation of her privacy. She didn't take him to court for any of those things. She took him to court for defamation of character, and she sued Prophet Key. I don't know for how many $1,000 she sued for that.
It was a million, I think 1 million or something.
Yeah, come to think of it, the court dismissed the case. They say it has no legal grounds. They dismissed that case. Prophet Key was all on the internet celebrating, jubilating, and all of that. This same Chief Justice, when the Speaker removal saga in Liberia was ongoing and the case was taken to the Supreme Court, this Chief Justice, when he went to Nima for the court opening, he gave an opinion there in the court, in the Judicial Circuit Court. And that opinion was being termed and considered as legal talk by a representative from Bond County known as Fode Family. So come to think of it, a justice in chamber gave an opinion on a legal matter before the Supreme Court, and a representative went in the house and say that was a legal talk, so they don't consider it to be serious. That representative is protected by law. Anything he say or do while in session in the chamber is not considered a violation of the Constitution. They walk away free with it. This was the same Chief Justice during the final verdict, the hearing of that case, after the 3 justices, the 4 justices in chamber had the same opinion. He had a dissenting opinion. And right after that dissenting opinion, a name popped up as the Chief Justice to be appointed by the president. What is going on with the country? What is happening to Liberia? How many people will be taken to court for insulting others' parents? And what will be the court decision? What will be the court decision? The way we are heading, let me speak to my Liberian people tonight. Let me speak to the people at Nima. Let me speak to our elders, our women, and everybody.
General, after discussion, we can take calls.
Yeah, so those of you listening to us, if you want to make your input or contribution to the show tonight, you can call us on the numbers you see on the screen, +2503 +2507954289479. That's the WhatsApp. Or you can click on the link you see in the comment section, and then you will be able to make your input tonight on the show. Now, this thing has happened to Prophet Key. You know, he's not a big name you think of. He's not a minister. He's not anything. He's just a mere talk show host that managed his way in the system to be known by the Liberian people.
Exactly.
With the way speedy trial was given to Prophet Key today, how many cases before the Supreme Court of Liberia, before other courts like the Circuit Court, the Ministerial Courts in Liberia, that this kind of speedy trial has been given to those cases? I can tell you that people who were alleged of murder, somebody has been in prison for over 2 years. The case has not been called. The case has not been called. They are just there. One may say, Junior, do you support Prophet Key insulting anyone? No, I don't. But is it a violation of the Constitution? Yes. It's a violation for someone to use that means to imprison another person only because you have the gavel of authority in your hand. It's bad. Let's take up feeding from inside this. Let's take up politics from inside this. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's wrong. It's wrong. And I will be shocked that when Prophet Key come from prison, the chief and elder of Nima will call him again to punish him, like they said. I will be shocked. This is wrong, and it should not be practiced in Liberia. It's terrible. It's bad. It's not good. If this continue in Liberia, I mean, if they keep jailing people for insulting other people, then I think the criminal justice system in Liberia will have to build a maximum prison across the country, because almost every day people insulting other people. Go to the villages. That's a normal thing they do there. People insult other people and they walk away free with it. But now if you do it, they say you violate the particular provision of the Constitution that gave you the freedom of expression. They say you violated that. You've gone beyond your right. Oh, seriously? Now, insult has turned to violation of your right. Then what will happen now if people did or people state out defamatory statement? And when Prophet King comes out, I would challenge him to sue the Chief Justice if you have evidence on his alleged property that he's building in Ganta for commercial purposes. So if you can't do that, then it'll be bad. It'll be terrible.
But Junior, see you on the show already. But Junior, understand this now. Who's the lawyer that in Liberia will represent Prophet Key? There's no lawyer in Liberia to represent Prophet Key. It's not possible. The funny thing is, Tianwan Gongro said he agreed with the ruling. Isn't that amazing? And I know why he said that for. I won't sit down here and bite my tongue. Tianwan will not stay by saying you're wrong. Tianwan Gongro is, I think he's still a president, or maybe a president of the Bar Association, or maybe he's not there anymore. So there's no way. It's a cohort thing. Prophet Key did not get justice. While it's true that all his comments and against insulting was considered a wrong thing to do, morally wrong, but legally, Prophet Key did not get justice. And basically from there, the funny thing that he was dancing. What is there to dance about? Why they treating Prophet Key? Okay, Samuel Tueden passing. Where that Prophet Key was one of the maybe a minister, even a vice president of the country. He ran off red and he dancing. Are you kidding me? It's a disgrace.
Yeah, I mean, let's welcome to the show. See you, Alvin Seka, Junior and DK. See you, welcome. Let's hear you on this.
Thank you. You know, I always got different.
My man, one more time, why you giving the thing to Pablo one more time?
Start yelling. Where you coming from? I'll also call Akaros grill you. It was like I get beat a car all day. Great. Listen, get beat car. Yo, man, you go ahead.
So yes, Cyrus, the brother Cyrus saying, "Buddy, you are wrong." When legal opinion are delivered by the Supreme Court, conventionally, not only in Liberia, that decision, anybody, whether you are a lawyer, not lawyer, you have your opinion. Beyond that, Councillor Tiawan say Gongro is no longer the bar president. The president who is currently the bar president is the one that was just appointed at the Law Reform Commission, I think Councillor Vamo or somebody. So Councillor Gongro is no longer the president for the Bar Association. Beyond that, there's a legal thing, junior a lawyer, that they said the court cannot do for you what you should do for yourself. They said the court cannot sois sponte, something like that. Prophet Key went to the court, expressed that he needed a lawyer. The public defenders are paid by the government. The public defender came about because the lawyer said there are parties who are indigent, who don't have money. So then government should pay them. So the public defenders are well paid, government pay them, and they just defend anybody that don't have money, to hire their own lawyer. And they are professional lawyers. So Prophet Key, first day in court, he requested for a lawyer. The court gave him the lawyer. So then the lawyer advising on what to do because he didn't know anything about the law. He didn't know what he was going through. So the lawyer that was given him of a choice told him, okay, this and this will give you this result. So he got the result he knew. Don't forget about whether the court is correct. That's another different argument. Supreme Court around the world opinion is not always satisfactory to people. So Supreme Court decision, whether it's in your favor or not, is not satisfactory to people. There are cases that the Supreme Court should have gone through. Yes, people say, oh, there are rape cases, there are corruption cases. Yes, but the court does not go out looking for cases. You bring case to them. So when you bring the Supreme Court in public dispute, Councillor Agbaise had a hotel in Ganta before becoming Chief Justice. And majority of the people that the Clinton, Gamon, Clinton, everybody that are expressing today about the ruling, who appointed Councillor Agbaise? It was their CDC government. It was the CDC government. The quote-unquote a reward for denying Brandon Samuka the senatorial seat. The hard judge we have when they remove Councillor Jana with the Brandon Samuka and everything, they say, okay, Councillor Agbaise was at the lower court. The hard they awarded him. So I don't go there with what CDC people say because they appointed him on the bench. And their decision right all the time.
I want you to explain to me what makes me wrong because you say I'm wrong. So give me my reason of being wrong.
Your first wrong is Councillor Gogo is not the president of the Bar Association almost 2-3 years ago or 4 years ago. Let's say he resigned from the bar, I think 2022 or 23. He no longer the president of the bar. His opinion. All the other giving our opinion. You can't judge him for an opinion that he expressed. The thing about the Supreme Court, listen now, the Supreme Court does not make mistake. The Supreme Court, so when the Supreme Court made a decision that the full benefit that decision is not right, what they do, they call it star disasters. They review their own actions. Nowhere in the world I hear the Supreme Court made a mistake. No. Whether in your favor or not in your favor, they are the final arbiter. You can't do nothing about their decision. Whether you like it, what your position is right, Councillor say Gongo position right, that decision of the Supreme Court is a law.
Let me hold you a little bit.
It's a law that people will study in law school.
But let me hold you a little bit. Whether law school, not law school, some more.
Before you ask Sam Becky, let me ask TK this. Do you think moving forward the court will start suing, prosecuting people who insult other people and their parents? Do you think the court will do so? I know you said you are correct by saying that.
The question should be, why they convicted that man of today? What was the charges?
Contempt.
Have you read the ruling?
Contempt. Yeah.
What was the contempt? Why did it kill? Did they say because he abused?
Criminal contempt.
Contempt generally, whether it's contempt of the legislature, contempt of the court, contempt means you have brought the body of that constitutional authority in public dispute.
I'm agreeing with you. What I'm trying to say, people making it sound like because he insulted a man's mom, that's the only reason why they convicted him. And that's not all to it. So that's why I'm asking John to explain, to read the verdict.
So now, my question is, because there were so many things alleged by Prophet Key, and those things were not captured in the ruling. The only thing they captured was Prophet Key insulting the Chief Justice's mother and bringing the court to a public disrepute. Now, my question to DK is that the court does not do what you want them to do. Moving forward, do you think if anybody does these things to any other person, if they take the complaint to the court, do you think the court will rule in those people's favor? That what the court decisions, because the Supreme Court decision becomes a law. The Supreme Court decision, you are in the law school. The Supreme Court decision is a law. So if you insult anybody, the person take you to court,
they will make reference to that ruling today. I say a big thing, Joe.
You've answered the question, but here is it though. They didn't put it in the
No,
form.
the last thing you said was there were a lot of things Prophet Key alleged. Joe, how many counts that Chadra went to jail for? It was close to 200 counts. They should have convicted you on one. It's still conviction.
I agree.
It's still conviction. So your charges will be more than 200, but they will drop almost 199 and convict you on one. So the court said that he brought the court in public dispute, so he should be punished for that.
I agree with what you're saying, DK. But here is my point, though. Sarah Labeki, let me make this short. Prophet Key was in prison today for contempt. And this is what people don't know. And this is what people don't know.
No, but I mean, leader, I begin. He ain't lost. We won't be playing with all yeah.
An individual cannot sue for contempt. So if anybody insult your mind, you out there, you're listening. Let me say something.
No, Joe, you're missing it. The Supreme Court 4 bench. The Supreme Court 4 bench cited Prophet Key.
No.
The Supreme Court 4 bench cited Prophet Key.
He accused them of being corrupt.
Okay.
I'm making
then let me come there to help you a little bit here.
Yeah, Sarah, my point here is that anybody cannot sue for contempt. It is only the court that has that constitutional power to cite someone for contempt. So if you're listening and you say because the court sent Prophet Key to jail for causing somebody
no, so Gio, you and Sarah, Gio, why was the citation sent to Prophet Key? You can put that citation up.
Okay, this is where I want to come in. So
here is the citation. I think I have it here.
But this is where I want to come in. DK, CEO, I beg you.
No, for your benefit for 2 hours. With me and DK that king. So let me come on 1, 2, 3, 2. So here's my take on this. You know, Mike Tyson, the former boxer, he once said that everyone feels they are okay until they get hit in the mouth. And for me, I'm not even coming from the legal perspective or anything like that. I'm coming straight from a typical Liberian, a traditional Liberian father, a husband, a brother to sisters, and friends to a lot of women across the world. Let's put the freedom of speech business on one side. From a moral standpoint, looking at things from the way that God does things, you know, it's hard to really back, right? For me, politics, disagreement, you can disagree, you can push your idea and stuff without insulting people's mother. I'm talking about some people, their mothers, some people, you know, sisters. And it got to the point where everybody's afraid of this individual when it comes to speaking about him. Everybody's afraid. Here's the sad thing. People use him to gain, you know, their political relevance, to win elections, and through the same thing that he was doing from Morocco to Liberia, and people are still backing him for that. So once he's on your side, everybody's okay with it. But if he's on the other side, other people are not okay with it. Here's, you know, the man insulted upon President William's mother in the place. It was all fun. Everybody was laughing with it. It was all fun. Everybody, he insulted all those people when it comes to Yombi Kanga, they protest. He will go after everybody, you know. And then from there, everyone laughed with it. So here's my thing now, because there's a cat eating cat. This is the man that everybody, all of them supported and, you know, sang hallelujah to and helped them to gain power today. He went after one of them. The same thing, nothing strange, the same thing he's been saying from day one. But he went after one of their own, who happened to be the Chief Justice, and everyone is upset. Now they're taking him to jail because of that. So me, I'm not a legal person. I have no legal background. I just have common sense and I'm a rational person from a traditional background, I think the approach is terrible. There has to be some type of example set for the next generation, younger kids. If you look even like right now, the bloggers, not some other children, they have started seeing that pattern, that type of talk show where they just go on Facebook and start insulting people, mother. Cyrus, you know, I'm pretty sure you're older than all of us are here, and we all grew up in the society where that was abomination, right? Other than when the war came and the freedom fighter, then they used to call each other man because of fighting. But it was very hard to see someone just insulting women like that. It was very, very hard to see. And we know that from our background. All of us who grew up in Liberia will know that. Now the man has normalized it, which is just normal. You know, when you go on Facebook and we just start insulting people, mothers. So again, going back to the point, everybody that's talking about that freedom of speech, I get it. You know, like I said, if Mike Tyson said, everybody feels okay and good until they are hit in the mouth. I personally feel that there has to be some type of accountability, sanity setting our society. The younger generation needs to learn from us. Having a role model, someone that people look up to, decision maker. This is the guy that winds and dine with the vice president, who made the president, who got all the big people, that he knows. But everybody sit and allow that to happen. Where, man, come on now, insulting people, mothers on a daily basis with no reason because of political something is very tough. Again, I'm not even going to the legal part. I'm just looking at it from generational vantage point. I believe that approach was bad. Hopefully, when he gets out, hopefully he has the ability or he has the opportunity now to do two things: come out and be a hero and change your approach in tackling things. And you have very huge followers. He got big fan base. He can still address issues. He can still do things without going the other route, or let this get him down. Let this whole thing hold him down, and he go the other side. But I hope that when he gets out, he used the latter part where he uses his fame, his current followers, his base, and still push his ideas, still pushes his plan without going after people's mother. Gentlemen, none of us here feel happy when they insult your mother. The free speech thing that we're talking about, it will go through this. It will go quick down. If God forbid that was happening to any of us here, I don't care who you are, any man, when they go after your man, it hurts. And that's what happened to the Chief Justice. This is why George Weah has been going through. This is why Yomli Kanga has been doing. That's why all those females that have been on. I saw someone today that said, "Oh, the men supporters are majority female." How about the other old man in Petu, in different places that don't know much about this, who are not in favor of it? Nobody to speak for them, and then insulting someone dead mother. So that's my point. I will leave the legal argument to the legal people, the scholars. I'm not going to venture into it, but my take is he comes out. He's a sound guy. When you talk to him, he's a very intelligent guy. When he comes out, and I'm pretty sure he's going to use the other route to gain fame, but without getting into the whole insulting women business.
So, CEO, you are correct. You are 100% correct, and I think all of us here are saying the same thing, and we agree with your point. But for me, what I have to say here is that legally, no one in Liberia can sue for contempt. It is a court that has a constitutional power to hold somebody in contempt. And what the court did today is that they used that power to imprison Prophet Key, which is fine. But if you're out there and then you're thinking that, okay, you will go sue somebody because they insult your man, you got no ground to sue that person on. For us as individual or citizens of the country, the only way we can sue somebody for, free speech, violating those free speech is through defamation. If you believe that your character was defined by another person, you can sue for that. If you also believe that through the person free speech, they invaded your privacy, then you can sue for that. But individual, if somebody calls your man, you go sue, the court will not accept that case because it has no legal ground. It is not legally funded. That's what I want to say. Let's hear you, Cyrus.
Thank you, Junior. Thank you, CEO. But this is a thing, CEO. I agree with you. Morally, like yesterday, we had a scene debate here. Morally, I know it's wrong to insult people. But you see, the problem with Liberia, the hypocrisy is the one that I don't agree with. So, see, let backtrack here a little bit. Back in the day of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the Akara grade that appeared on our show the other day, Akara grades were on almost all the radio stations in Liberia, cussing Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Nobody say anything. The CDC today, as a party, sadly, they rub red oil on underwear and say it was Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Sadly, I'm sorry to say this. They did that and they matched the paraded with that in the Republic of Liberia. Nobody, no more traditional leaders, other council or elders, nobody say anything. The CDC introduced what we call marching with casket. They put casket on their head. In politics, they say it was Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf casket. I was in Liberia. I witnessed this thing. And I said to myself, where are we going as a country? This thing was not good. Nobody said anything. Even the end of 2017 election, 2020, I saw CDC marching with Joseph Boakai Kashke again. Kashke believed to have been Joseph Boakai Kashke. So nobody said anything. When Prophet Key was in Morocco cussing George Manawea's mother, nobody said anything. Even he came to Liberia. That's why yesterday I said the traditional leader of Nimba County, when Prophet Key entered Nimba County, the first thing they would have done is to call their son and say, you know what we've been hearing from your mouth is not good. We want you to come here. Let's talk. Call the man you're behind the scene. When you leave from there, you do the same thing, then that's a different thing. The traditional leader didn't say anything. So it has become a pattern. It has become something that I think it was good for the country because nobody said anything. Now it comes to Chief Justice, and in his word, he said the Supreme Court cannot go around to look for a case. But who sue Prophet Key to him? Saying he can't go around looking for a case. At this point, who sued him?
Legally,
hold on, please.
Legally, the Chief Justice didn't sue Prophet Key. The Chief Justice invited Prophet Key.
I agree.
Charges of contempt.
No, Jan, I agree. But what I'm saying here is that since he said the Supreme Court can't go around looking for a case because nobody carried a case to him. He sent a letter to the guy and said, come and tell us why we can't hold you under contempt. Okay.
So you lawyer?
Huh?
You lawyer?
My graduate degree was in criminal justice with emphasis in business law.
Well, that's different type of law, though.
Well, of course.
Okay,
in
so
Liberia, they study a lot of different laws. So before you even do that, it's not just attached to business. You can read other law too. So what I'm saying here, let me finish my thought. I'm begging you.
No, I don't you.
Give me the opportunity to bring that. All I'm saying to you is that I didn't like you. I agree with you, but my thing is, I don't like bad precedent. Calling a man to come to explain, because the whole thing here is letter that they sent to him didn't worry even content. They just invited a man to come and explain this out of the story why they couldn't hold you on the content. First of all, what is there to hold Prophet Key on content about? Then he went there, so they threw him under the bus. They gave him perfect defense lawyer. Who perfect defense lawyer? Their job is to find people guilty. In the sense, they will say, you know what, you will not win it. It's a when don't have a case and even depend on public defense lawyer, you will never win it, because their job is to say you will not win it, and you let you go and appeal. And when you do that, you finish. That's what they did to Prophet Key. Prophet Key went and said, I'm guilty. Boom. The court has a right now at that point, they hold him under contempt. There where the contempt charge came in, and Prophet Key is in jail today, CEO. But overall, to cut it, I do not agree with Prophet Key insulting anybody, but the procedure to take Prophet Key to court was totally out of law and out of order.
Yeah. So, the Supreme Court is the court of the most powerful court in Liberia, in our country. So they have made this call. They have made this decision. We can have our opinion, which I respect the opinion, by the way. Not because I'm questioning. I respect that. Again, for me, I have said it from the start. I'm not going to go down the route of legal interpretation, because that's not my area. So my area, though, is I have the moral thinking. I'm from a background that frown on his style of politicking and things like that. So I don't agree with the way he does it. And again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it in any way, shape, or form. We're from Liberia, from Nima. So we don't operate like that. So that style, again, my request and my hope for him is when he comes out, he uses this time to do things in a positive way and change the style. He's still an influential guy, and he's going to do big things, but he just have to change that. Marcos, we all grew up. I've never seen that before, and then social media made it very, very worse. Really worse that you have thousands and thousands of people following people that insulted, and if we're not careful, it was going to set an example for the next generation, where children and other people will try to see that style as. We already have issues in Liberia where in politics, the young children and they insult people, they insult the elders, they insult their opposition because they disagree on social media everywhere. Then you give them this opportunity where they can create their own platform and start insulting. It's going to be easy, because you grab phone, you grab microphone, you got a little techno, you sit up behind your horse, you can lecture anybody, man, and then you become popular. To me, that's not a good. So then we are a very correct society. We have a lot of things to do, and all of us owe it to the next generation to set good example. For me, again, I think he's going to come out. When he comes out, I hope that he uses his influence, the platform, to be able to do use different style instead of using what he got now.
Thank you, CEO. We will go to this topic, and after that, we can probably call it a day for today. Our journalist is out there doing an investigative journalism in the 9 electoral districts in Nima. Recently, he visited district number 9, and when he came from there, he came with a lot of news. And he also visited electoral district 2, where ArcelorMittal Liberia is operating. Now, his visit to electoral district 2 uncovers a lot of things that have not been mentioned by our lawmakers who signed the extension of the ArcelorMittal Liberia MDA. It uncovers a lot. And he spoke to town leaders. I will try to play the recording here tonight, and then you can have your own take on it. But here is one of the shocking things that he saw there. For the past decades that ArcelorMittal have been operating in Nima, let me say so, for the past decades, they have not a single day, not one day, going about to think of the interest of the people that they are operating in their area. This is a water. If you've been to Zolowi, if you know a town leading to Yekepa called Zolowi, this is a water there. This water, I'm told that is named Ray Water. This water, leaders, town leaders, community leaders of that place have complained over the years that this water is polluted, but they do not have safe drinking water. They go to this place to wash. They go to this place to do almost everything. Some of them, this water connect to their farms, and they use this water to drink on their farm. They use it to drink. Now, my people, what is your word to our lawmakers? The people who have signed the ArcelorMittal deal saying ArcelorMittal is working on all of our promises. What is your word to them specifically? A lot of complaint in Bapa. When our journalist Matthew Quay visited Bapa town, he spoke with leaders of Bapa. According to the person he spoke with, the president said, since the Bapa clinic was built, and it was ArcelorMittal that built that clinic, there is no single drug in the clinic. There is no drugs in the clinic. And I want to play this first before you have your talk on it. There is no single drugs in the clinic. And it's just like that. The people there are suffering. Everything there is horrible. Everything there is horrible. But our leaders have given these people another 25 years to operate. Another 25 years. And if you're listening to us tonight, man, you want to have your take on this discussion, we really appreciate that. We will really, really appreciate that. The question I want to ask all of us here tonight, where are our leaders getting their information from? Some of them said they visited our constituent before they could sign on that agreement. Did they go to those places to see for themselves? Did they visit this water that you're seeing on the screen? Did they ever visit it? It's horrible. This is terrifying. Waterborne disease kills people almost every day in Liberia. Almost every day. But you've seen this. You've seen this. And let me say a big shout out to all of our journalists out there. Genesis Baimi, Manager Takbobi Sewa, April Nyazi, C. Paul Nyazi, Matthew Quay, and David Boley, the rest of the folks. Now, this is the style we've taken. We're carrying a microphone to our people to speak to them. The next step, the next stop point for our journalists is district number 4. We are told that the bridges in that area, they are horrible. And the chairman on public works in the House of Representatives is Representative Ernest Massier. He's the chairman of public works. What is he doing? What is going on? But let me play this video for you without further ado, then you can have your say on it, and we can take calls from our people that are listening to us.
Yeah, oil, where are you? For the feed, Jeruka, Babakini. Yeah, oil, where are you? After I take on with the process.
So, what's the current status of the Babak clinic now?
The citizens, they are trying to do some effort to apply and then make sure and put trust to the place. Community leaders, people that they know about their net, this and that, so they can start working small until the government can in. We are already informed the government about they are can here, the government been here, they can't been here, 3 different times. Up to today, the clinic stay there. It can't be open.
But you got workers there?
How can we be?
The clinic closed, the clinic functioning?
The clinic is there. We are requesting for the citizens to come and can't get your help until the government can come. Because then we start accusing the government in that functioning. We are starting to function because we just put that in there. We never put it for you to be there.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Bapa is a stone throw away from the concession area. If you know Mogangra, Gangra is not far from Bapa. Likewise, Togate is not far from Gangra. And Bapa is, let me say, 2 towns away from Yekepa. After Bapa, you go to Liagbala. From Liagbala, you go to Camfor. From Camfor, then you go to Yekepa. Now, these people are complaining. From a clinic, they use their own money to build. No drugs. You sign an MDA. These people were not captured in it. And this is just Bapa. If you go to a Yamen belt, where ArcelorMittal is operating, where the blast from there has destroyed those schools. If you go to that place, you feel frustrated. We're discussing the road from Sanikole to Yekepa, but we're not talking about the road from Yekepa to those places. The entire Yamen belt. We're not talking about their roads. Let me start with you, Sam. What's your say on this, and then we can go to the CEO. You are muted.
Thank you, Junior. I think we still have challenges in our country. It's concerning and in my mind, I don't think representative can do all. I think that this whole decentralization method or policy is something that the government of Liberia needs to work on fast and faster. Junior, I can tell you without decentralization, most of the things we complain about, will continue to complain about. Some of will go, and the generation that will come, they will still complain about.
So, Sam, thank you. Before you continue, you strike a very important point here. A very important one. The county social development fund, 1.5 million was coming to Nima. I'm told that 700,000 of that money is given to the affected community. What have the county administration been doing? What are their projects in the affected community? You talk about decentralization. The government is decentralized. What have they been doing with the money? Let's hear you, Chief.
So the question, what are they doing with the money? It's a good question. I think at some point we need to invite the superintendent to come and sometimes chit chat with us as well. That won't be a bad thing. But what I want to say, Junior, is that decentralization effort policy should come as soon as possible. Yes, we got county development funds, but those are we can intervene, but it's not a sustainable thing. It's just to have a quick impact, but it's not a long-term goal. Like the guy who complaining about the clinic, we can have this county development fund, and we can send some drug there for a quick impact, but not a sustainable goal. Once we have a decentralization government, and the government is seen everywhere in the country, I think most of those bridges and other things that you see in there, people will be able to work hard to make sure that those counties, those areas that are the deserted areas will be, people will be able to reach out and reach there. But at this point, if we depend on social development fund alone or the county development fund alone, it might not be enough, even though I'm seeing Code doing some work with it, but is it something that we can really do a long-term goal with that money for a long time, maybe 5-10 years? Junior, I don't think it's possible, because There's a lot to do in our country, and I see that decentralization is a way forward.
Thank you. See you. Let's hear you on this. Your boys are doing extremely well in Liberia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The guys are going in depth. They are bringing us the news we deserve. They are bringing us the news we want.
Yeah.
This is what is going on in District 2, the affected community. What say you on this?
Yeah, I'm really happy that our boys are doing, boys and girls, the entire team is doing extremely well, and we are proud of them, because if you go on BKS platform now, we are breaking news, we are making news, we are going after it, we are creating our own news. We are not just copying news from other media. We are setting an example, in as much as we are a small team, evidenced by the growth in our followers. So we want to say thanks to our followers too for keeping the page active and believing in us, and as we continue to provide true news, real news, reliable news to our people in Nema County. Things that are happening that need to be reported. So again, shout out to all of them, the manager and Matthew that is doing all these work for us, going from place to place, and all those guys, Genesis in Bond County, they're doing his thing, and the manager is in Monrovia. He was at the Capitol building today, not Capitol building, whatever, that Temple of Justice, right? So, but anyway, so to this, I mean, it's just sad. The person one of the person that spearheaded that clinic, the building of that clinic, I know him personally. He's one of my big brother. He was giving me some information about it. And politics is at play in every fabric of our society. But for me, I'm not even going to go after the politicians in this case. I think Meta Steel AML self has to be ashamed of himself. Where is the corporate social responsibility? If you're giving that money to people, yet and still you're operating over there and still see things like that, you can't help. They could even help with providing, medical practitioner over there. BAPA is right there, right in the nose of, right there in the heart of all the work that they are doing there. So it's a sad situation. That's what happens when you have when people think that AML is doing us a favor, instead of us looking at it from the fact that they are taking billions and billions of dollar resources from our country. And I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of that. I think they are eating a lot more than they are giving back, and that's why strong leadership comes into play, to hold them accountable. But if they don't do that, our people, we went through this ourselves when we were in Africa. We went in Liberia, they were growing up. We went through this, but leaders have to speak instead of. That's why I believe the whole AML deal. I know they said that they are supposed to. I think was it Honorable Kwaglu that was on here. He said they are supposed to go back and redo some of the recommit to some of the promises that they left out in the old MDA. Yeah. So hopefully, those things happen. But you can remember now, this thing has been happening for a very long time. These people have been crying for a very long time, and no one is listening to them, because the people who are enjoying are not being affected by this. No one should be. The water that you're talking about here is being directly affected by, polluted by their operation right next to it. So very sad to say, but our people deserve better, and our leadership need to really, really stand up for our people. All these things have to be in the MDA. They have to be able, in America and China and other places, those guys that companies that are involved in either air pollution or anything that has the propensity to impact citizens around there, they are held accountable for that. They put in play plans that will be able to help people when it comes to people health, people safety, and all that. Imagine what the impact will be on the children that are growing up drinking this type of water in the next few years. So again, it's a sad thing. I'm not a big fan of the AMLD. I think it was not supposed to be passed. Those guys, they are just playing games. of our people, but it's belated now. You have nobody talking about it again. It's finished. So our people will be stuck with for the next 25 years, and those guys will not do anything. I won't be surprised that even the promises they made, they don't even fulfill it.
I agree with you, CEO. Those guys will not do anything. If you look at this kind of thing, people explaining from, a layman perspective, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that ArcelorMittal Liberia is not doing well. These people, they had another 4 years to their contract. And you see what is happening in the affected community, but you still went on to sign a deal on a promise that they are making again. What becomes of those promises they made in 2007? What becomes of them? And I'm frustrated in many of our lawmakers. I'm frustrated. Before we were saying, we have so many old folks in the place there, so they are not making decisions in the interest of the young people. But this time around, we have a lot of young people. If you check the ratio, we have a lot of young people as compared to the old ones. But yet then still, the decision is even worse. And I'm happy that they will make this decision at the end of the day after they get voted out. Some of them will just be passing around. I know a lot of lawmakers today that have gone broke. Francis Kawi was in the House when they signed the first agreement. He served as representative at that time. District 1 and District 2 were still together as a district. But yet and still, he's out there now. What becomes of him? And no disrespect to a big brother, Doma. Doma served as representative of Electoral District 7. Like today, they appointed him as Deputy Director for Administration Yellow Machine Committee. Imagine that from an honorable position. I saw a news today. I tried calling him to confirm that news, whether it was true or not. But
about the complaint, the people complaining?
Yeah. So,
but who complaining? Who complaining? That needs there. I got some. Yeah, who complaining? Who complain about it? The men are complaining about a job. But the citizen that complaining, they don't get no picture, they don't get no video, nothing. Just the citizen.
Yeah, that why when I saw that thing today, I said we got to be careful with the other news here before.
No, that news. I mean, I read it. I'm a little skeptical, but one thing we never discussed here was the yellow machine thing. I don't know. I think it's late now, but we never discussed it.
No, the yellow machine thing, I think when we enter the country for inspection, then we can have a substantial ground to defend.
We're talking about the job and the everything.
I mean, anyway, the job is a shame, man.
Yeah.
From the honorable man,
no, but the thing is, this is the first of its kind. Nobody knows what that job entails. Yeah.
The perspective of the people job as CEO, they said they may not be inspecting the machine.
No, they're not inspecting the machine. No, they're not inspecting. He's ahead of one of those something. I forgot the title, but he's not going to be on the field inspecting. He's an administrator, so he has that experience. And I think you know that. My only concern is, I just hope it's not a setup, because.
But CEO, tell me what it is. If this is not a setup, tell me what it is.
That role can be. It can be very, very tough to manage politically, and if you use it well, it can go in your favor. When you not use it well, they'll say, "Oh, man, now I had a yellow machine, all our money, the whole thing, everything that break down and stuff." So it's a win. It's tough. It's give and take. I still believe that. Maybe he knows what he's doing. He just got to be careful, but he has everything it takes from an administrative standpoint to manage it. He and our old man Samokai. And then one of my own big brother will also be there, Molo. So, but yeah, we will wait and see. But I just don't know how they are going to run it, because people will want this to be done certain ways, and they don't do it certain ways, it become problem. But we'll see. Yeah, but it has been great though. So on Sunday we'll be hosting. What's his name? We'll be hosting.
Kano Bagbala.
Yeah, Kanio Bag Councilor. Is it Councilor? Or, yeah, I think Councilor, right? Yeah. Councilor Kanio Bag He will be our guest on Sunday. So it'll be a good show. As we all know, he has been he got an organization, the Central Movement, and he has been really aligned with the ruling party. So we'll see. Yeah, but he has consented. He's going to be our guest on Sunday. Tomorrow we will get someone, but I don't know who that guest is going to be. and then we'll do the same thing on Monday too. So I will be here Saturday, I will be here Sunday by the grace of God, and I'll also be on Monday because Monday is a holiday. So look forward to having a good show.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, CEO.
Yeah, the call really Manhattan. So what can happen when you're giving an apple in Manhattan? So we can pass your side with this Supreme Court pass our perfect.
Then let's hear you as we call it a day for tonight.
So I think the Euro machine thing, I think it's a good idea to get other people to manage it. CEO, the way I look at it from different perspective. Like we had never had this kind of thing in our country history with that number of Euro machines, 285. That's a lot of machine coming into the country. My thinking is Public Works going to manage that thing properly. I think it's going to be tough. But appointing a committee, I don't know what it's a committee to spearhead it for now and to see how things will go. For me, I don't think it's bad, because we need to sometimes. Like Liberia's problem, one of the problems in Liberia is management. So I think it's a good idea for me personally. I think it's a good idea.
Still, I'm not cutting you, but don't you think it's a duplication of the public work?
Well, it depends how they will coordinate. I think they will coordinate. They can. The way I see it, I don't think it's a duplication, but I think they can coordinate well. And see how, but we are yet to see. It's a new thing to order first. So again, let us reach. I want to see reach out to co-member Gono. Let her come to our show. We really want to talk to her and the good things she doing.
That's not like our show.
Well, I mean, there's she's Nimba, and sometimes when she comes here and she will be able to clarify things, and we will be happy. Some people who are not happy with her, they will be happy. Sometimes it's not good to avoid some show, though. I mean, some network.
We would love. I don't have any.
Yeah,
connection with her, but we would love to have her on here.
So we can have a conversation with her. I think I like the way she's doing some things in Nimba County. Well, with Sanenkori, the look of Sanenkori now is very nice. I know leadership is not easy. Politics has its own role in life. I think she's doing what she's doing. I think she's doing good. But overall, tonight again. It was one of those days in Liberia. History was made today in Liberia. Whether being good or bad, Liberia made another history. That our generations to come will dwell on. Because the opinion of the Supreme Court is a law.
Mm-hmm.
So the opinion will be a law that Liberia will utilize. Whether when I go now and sue Jim because they will go to Supreme Court opinion and say, well, it cost my mom, I sue you, you got to go pay fine or go to your place, spend 6 months in prison. So Liberia always made history. So I'm yet to see some of the things that's going on in our country. Some of them, when we speak, they think that we support people like Prophet Key. No, it's also good to believe in the law. The rule of law is the one that governs the country. If we say we got law in the country, it's good to go by the law and let the law take its course rightfully. I think if we apply the laws rightfully, our country will be a better country. But I think overall, there was a sentiment that shaped this whole case, which I think.
So the CEO swallowed GB today.
And he didn't even call anybody.
Yeah, I just seen it right now.
Yeah.
You didn't invite me.
Amen. So we are yet to see some of those things, and I look forward to chit-chatting with the man I refer to as I think here myself we pretty much agreed. We might agree with some things. Kekura Koto will be our godfather or something. Can you go? You know, Kekura Koto. I was asking whether we can agree to be the first
Man, everybody can take your own. You there, you there, you there, you not there. You rescue, you ANC.
Oh no! For me, I just told for him he can benefit. The man what we yeah myself in live.
Don't talk about my guest here, bro. Leave my guest.
No, he's my friend. Well,
yeah, but you can talk about that one.
And then he went to CDC. Now he let CDC use Unity Party. Well, it's a good show to you. It's good to be here.
We'll try to get a guest tomorrow. We'll try to get someone.
Yeah, let's try to get.
Well, I want to say thanks to you
some
and
of our counselors then to come and give us some insight of the law.
I wish they had come tonight, but we'll be good. We'll be on. It will be a full show tomorrow. I will try to get somebody, a guest for us tomorrow to kind of mix things up. But we should be fine tomorrow. But thanks to you and Junior for holding the show down, man. You guys are doing extremely well. I want to say thanks to all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, CEO, and thank you for being here tonight. Finally, before we go, an individual can sue someone for causing somebody man. What the court did was they used their constitutional power, and it is only two arms of the government in our country that have that power, which is the legislature and that of the judiciary. They have the power to hold someone in contempt. So if you think that, okay, maybe somebody inside your mind, you want to go, I don't know how you would tend the lawsuit to be, but for you to say the man caused my mind, so I bring you here, the court will say that thing is not legally funded and we cannot hear such a case.
We got Supreme Court opinion now. We'll make money. You cause anybody say hello.
Making it. I mean, I think the whole thing was just about cost. There were other things attached to it.
No, but the other thing were not mentioned. That the under costing part I mentioned.
No, you got a ruling. You got a copy of it?
But we listen to the thing.
No, but you listen to it.
From Article 15, they switch it to 14. That's talks about decency.
You talking about what?
Decency.
Yeah, no, forget about this. The man called the whole bench fraud. But anyway, we will.
Anyway, it's Liberia too now.
Yeah, but long live Liberia, man. Liberia, we gotta.
That's the country we have.
Yeah, we gotta. Still, for me, I'm not.
I believe my brother Garrison then they didn't come today because they were going to question them. They didn't want to come and be questioned, so they didn't want to bother themselves. You know, let me stay away. Who will tell you Liberia? Supreme Court, you will tell him from.
Yeah, but it was a good show, man. Good night, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Good night.
Okay. Good night, see you.